Next one. Rabindranath Tagore recited this poem for the first time at 1896 Indian National Congress Annual Convention in Kolkata. What did he say? First time it came into public stage. Yeah.
Vande Mataram.
Perfect. It is not Jana Mana as everybody thinks. It is Vande Mataram. Fine. In fact, during the 50s, they were supposed to select the national anthem. There was a tough fight between Vande Mataram and Jana Gana Mana. 50% of the Constituent Assembly was preferring Jana Gana Mana. The other half of it were preferring Vande Mataram. Jawaharlal Nehru said, okay, I'll take the final call. And he decided it's going to be Jana Gana Mana. Any idea why Jana Gana Mana was selected finally in place of Vande Mataram? No. Yeah.
Because it had all the details about India.
Not exactly. No, I mean, you're right, but that was not a clinching point. Fine.
It had all the names of the parts of India in it, right?
Yeah, you're right, but that was not the answer. It was easier to sing. Okay, you're almost nearer. Jawaharlal Nehru felt Jana Gana Mana is easier for the band, not Vande Mataram. For the band to play, Jana Gana Mana was better than Vande Mataram. That's the explanation he gave. I mean, I'm not answering whether it's right or wrong, but that's what the explanation is. Fine. This is the emblem of a country. The name of the symbol is Swayambhu. Take it from Swayambhu. Okay. In Sanskrit, which country?
Sir, it is Mongolia.
Perfect! Give him a big hand! Mongolia! Remember, Mongolia is not even our neighboring country. In between, you have China. Okay? China is culturally very strong in those days and even now. Fine. So, how did a Sanskrit word spread across China to the other country? That is the greatness of Sanskrit. What is the title given by the admirals of Indonesia, Malaysia and Brunei Navy? Once they become admiral, they are given a title. What is the title?
Is it Lakshman?
Perfect! My God, this school is really amazing. No, I got the correct answer even for adults. Leave alone children, even adults never answer, but a kid answered. Lakshmana. All the three countries are Islamic countries, but they choose the title Lakshmana. Why Lakshmana? Yeah. Okay. Fine. Lakshmana never slept for a second in the 14 years because he was protecting Lord Rama. Same way, these admirals are protecting their country without taking rest. So they have given the title Lakshmana. I mean, imagine, can such a thing happen in our country? No. We are secular. But Islamic countries, no qualms about it. See, they are clear. They say culture is different from religion. We are only confusing. Okay. In Manipur and Mizoram, there is a tradition of selling farm produce and it's called Nagur. Okay, that's not important. But what is the tradition? How the farm produce is sold? Amazing, eh? How do they sell the farm produce? Don't worry about the name. What is that they do? No. So anyway, first preference for the children. Yeah. Okay, anybody to answer? We go to the adults. By the way, wait, no. It's not a barter system also. No. Okay, we'll see. Yeah, please.
Something on that side.
No. Okay. Now somebody wants to answer behind. Last chance because we have a lot to go. Sir, you have to remind me when to stop because left to me I'll keep going for others. Okay, make it fast. Okay, we'll go unmanned shops. Okay, they keep the produce in front of the homes and go away to work. There's nobody to man the store. Then how do people purchase it? People take it, put the money in the box and go away. At the end of the day, the farmer will take the money. He need not waste his entire day sitting in the shop waiting for customers. And the next question you'll be asking is, sir, what if somebody takes the money? No, nobody takes it. Not only nobody takes it, actually the money collected is more than the selling price. People, what do? For example, if it is 18 rupees, people put a 20 rupee note and don't take the 2 rupee. At the end of the day, he gets more than what he really wants. Now, can you imagine this happening in Chennai? No. The produce will be lost, the table chair will be lost, everything will be lost. Fine. And we tell them they are tribals. We are educated, they are tribals. Okay. Which country is the closest to the southern tip of India? Sri Lanka. It can't be that simple with me, no? Maldives, no. Yeah, okay, you said here. Tell them. Indonesia. The southern tip is not Kanyakumari as we think. It is Pygmalion Point in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. And from the tip, 30 kilometers only is Indonesia. So technically the southernmost neighbor is not Sri Lanka, it is Indonesia. Just see. That's the tip of India, Pygmalion Point. In 30 kilometers you will find Indonesia. What is the Sanskrit word for refinement? When I say refinement, what is the Sanskrit word for that?
Arya.
Not Arya. Arya is noble. What is the Sanskrit word for refinement? No idea? We'll see the answer.
Samshuddha.
No. I mean, I'm not sure at least. Okay, we'll see the answer.
It is Sanskrit.
The meaning of Sanskrit is refinement. Okay. The Sanskrit word for refinement is Sanskrit. Okay? We go to the next one. Sanjaya is a character in Mahabharata. He is the advisor to Dhritarashtra, the father of the Kauravas. Now, he has got a special power. What is the power? He can visualize what is happening elsewhere. And he can tell it as a running commentary. Fine. So, he narrates the action in the climatic battle of Kurukshetra as it is, as a line related to Dhritarashtra. Now, what is the name of the special power? We hear it in some other context. Fine. The name of the power, we know it in different format. Yeah, what's it?
Spatial awareness.
No. A Sanskrit word.
Durdarsha.
Perfect! but that is a special power. Right? We close? 7. Okay. He was named after Karna because his father who read the Mahabharata liked the Karna character very much. Fine. Later on, he became the founding father of that nation and its president. Who are we talking about?
Karna was also called Radheya. So.
No. So who's the statesman who's named after Karna? Sorry? Not Karna. Okay, we'll see.
Sukarno of Indonesia.
Right, sir. Sukarno, who is the founding father of Indonesia, is named after Karna. See, they are Islamic people, but still they read Mahabharata. Fine. Now, why Sukarno? Why not just Karna? Yeah, Karna has also got some negative characters and positive characters. So, my son should have the positive characters of Karna. So, he named it as Sukarno. Nice Karna. Okay. At the entrance of New Delhi office of the Reserve Bank, you will observe two sculptures on either side. It is Yaksha and Yakshini. What's the idea?
Kubera as the god of wealth.
Perfect! Kubera! These two are demigods, Yaksha and Yakshini. They are the servants of, attendees of Kubera. Why Kubera? Reserve Bank is the storage of wealth, no? So, Kubera. So, their duty is to protect Kubera's wealth, and that's what the Reserve Bank does. So, RBI is Kubera for us. This is Kubera. Okay. Which place in India is called abundance of roses in the local language? Which place? Not Darjeeling.
Kodaikanal.
Not Kodaikanal. Okay, no. Q is Kashmir. Kashmir. Which place? Not Gulmarg.
Siachen.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Who said that?
Siachen.
Siachen. Siachen. Not a blade of grass can grow there. Minus 50 degrees. The army people use a frozen egg as a cricket ball. Then you can imagine what sort of place is that. At minus 50 degrees C, even the blood will freeze. They are protecting us. Fine. Okay. In the global Balti language, Sia means roses and Chun means abundance. Abundance of roses. What way that is connected to this place? God only knows. Fine. Hanuman. Which portion of India is named after Hanuman?
Andaman and Nicobar Islands.
Perfect! Andaman. Andaman is named after Hanuman. So what is the connection of Andaman and Hanuman?
When Lord Hanuman he went in the search of Sanjeevani, he discovered Andaman Island, so it was named after
Okay, I'm
him.
not talking the Puranas. Why? Why? Okay. How did the place is called Andaman after Hanuman? Not why? How? Okay. I'll just. Hanuman is known as Handuman in Indonesia. As we said, this place is very close to Indonesia, isn't it? So they are taking the Indonesian name. Handuman became Hanuman. Handuman became Andaman. Okay. Rajagopal Bhagavatar of Tirunur near Tirunur was a Harikatha expert. Okay. 60 years back he used to compose and sing daily bhajans at Gundaganeman Koil street in Mylapore. How do we know his grandson? I mean, we wouldn't know much about him, but we know about his grandson. Who is the grandson of Rajagopal Bhagavatar? Okay, we'll make it fast.
Is it Ramanujan?
No,
He visited his bhajans.
no, but who's it? Okay, last chance.
Bhardiyar.
No. Bhagavad right more than 60 years back. Okay, last try, last try. Not Tyagaraja Bhagavatar.
Hari Keshanadu.
No, no, not the Bhagavatar connection. Okay, okay, we'll see the answer. Promise to hold your breath. Most amazing answer you will ever see. Okay. Okay, we close. One last question. One last question before we close. Which district in Tamil Nadu is named so because it's fully surrounded by black granite hills? Even today it's a center for granite export. Not Karur, not Madurai, not Kodaikanal. Kodaikanal is not a district. Namakkal, no. Last chance.
Nagarkoil.
No. Okay, we see the answer.
Sir.
Ah,
Neyveli.
not Neyveli. Neyveli is not a district. Okay, last chance. Sorry? No, district name of the district. Okay, we see the answer. Krishnagiri. Krishna is black, Giri is mountain. Okay, one last question, sir. Who was the first queen to fight against British colonial power in India?
Hello, Nathia.
Velu Nachiyar. Velu Nachiyar. A lot of people think it is Rani Lakshmibai. No, 100 years before Rani Lakshmibai it is Velu Nachiyar. Most important, she won. Very, very rarely, if you see the Indian history, a local chieftain or a king or a ruler won over the British. She won. British people actually gave her an agreement telling her, sorry, we are not going to disturb you, you take back your country. Just a follow-up question, it will be very interesting, sir. Last question. Kuili was an army commander of Rani Velu Nachiyar. Velu Nachiyar had a women's army. A lot of people think 300 years back, women were confined to their homes. No, they were part of army also. She employed a war technique first time in the world. Today it may be common or you may be hearing about it frequently, but it was introduced by her. Yeah, right there.
She burned herself with the.
Perfect. World's first suicide bomber. Okay, what happened? The British captured the Kalayar Koil in Shivaganga. They kept all their arms and ammunition and gunpowder in the temple because the temple was something like a fort. And they locked the temple. Queen went to the British and said, sir, you have locked the temple but we have to do our pujas. Please allow us. She had a small oil lamp. The British felt, what is that a woman going to do? Okay, go in. She went inside, doused her with the oil and the fire, ran and fell on the ammunition. It blasted. That's the end of British. They said, they felt there's no more point in fighting here. We have lost everything. Let us give up. They wrote an agreement telling, sorry, we are not going to disturb you to take back your country. So this is how we got our freedom. Fine. Okay, we'll close for the day. Hope you all liked it. Any feedback from the students? Anybody wants to give feedback? What was the takeaway? Let's make it up. We have to go for the other program.
Very informative, sir. Thank you.
So please take up quizzing. It will help you a lot in your career.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So anytime you want me for the school, please call me. Thank you so much. Any subject you name it?
Thank you so much, sir. It was such an interesting session with you. Now I request our principal, Mrs. Vidyalakshmi ma'am, to present the nomination.
Okay, can I just check sharing screen right now? Is it visible? Just a minute.
Going ahead, our next session for today is by Vivah Krishna Kumar. Ms. Vivah Sangeeta Krishna Kumar is an award-winning writer and an accomplished Carnatic vocalist. Her mythological fiction, Kausalya, Queen of Hearts, won the Author Award for the Best Manuscript in March 2024. Author Awards is presented jointly by JK Paper and Times of India and celebrates the contributions of women authors who have, despite all the biases, added value and creativity to this space. Kausalya has recently been published as a book by Regomania. On the musical front, Vipha is a recipient of the CCRT scholarship from the Government of India for Carnatic vocal music since 2018. She has participated in numerous competitions at school and sabhas. She has won over 100 prizes to credit, including a Mirage Tambora. Vibha also gives concerts regularly during the Chennai Mandali season. Her twin passions of music and writing are combined with her contribution for Shruti magazine, India's premier English language magazine for the performing arts, where she has been corresponding since July 2021. Ms. Vibha is deeply interested in public health and is currently sophomore at the University of Hyderabad, where she is pursuing an integrated master's in biology. I welcome you, ma'am.
Hello everyone, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that lovely introduction. Good evening, everybody. It's wonderful being here to speak with all of you. I am here to talk about my newest book, Kausalya Queen of Hearts, and how we can link that to the conference theme for this year. But before I get into it, as I said before, I am an aspiring scientist pursuing an IMSc in biology from the University of Hyderabad. I am a performing Carnatic vocalist, an award-winning writer, and a newly published author. So the conference theme is India 2047 and for us to rediscover our roots. So I'm trying to link that to my book and to say what can we learn from Kausalya, the main character, the title of character from my book Kausalya Queen of Hearts. So let's leave Kausalya aside for now and think about any woman who has lived in the past decades, centuries, anything. And for them even to be slightly remembered right now, or if we hear tales of any woman from a different era, we have to understand and realize how much they have had to go through to be remembered right now. At that time, there was, of course, even now we have patriarchy, but then patriarchy was probably 10 times worse than it is right now. They had to struggle endlessly to get the smallest bit of appreciation, recognition, anything at all to be respected. They had to balance their passion and permission, or rather, they had to get permission to pursue their passion. And they all had to go down to societal pressure as to how they had to look, how they had to talk, speak, sit, stand, everything. And to be recognized right now, as I said, it is a very, very huge deal. Now, coming to Kausalya. My character, Kausalya, Queen of Hearts, is not a typical depiction. Sorry?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, please continue. Yeah, go ahead.
Good. So my character Kausalya is not the typical mother character you see in Kausalya as 14 series and books. My Kausalya is a strong woman, a queen, someone who had to rule a kingdom of men, who had to tread carefully, of course, but who ruled them all with an iron fist. That show of mind, body, of character, that shows political acumen to maneuver the emotions of those around her and to actually be respected. It shows conviction, and most important, when her son was sent into exile, the fact that she did not exactly say no shows her belief in a better world. That she believed if a certain door, then 4 or 5 more open behind her. So, Kausalya is often portrayed in books, TV, cinema. She is weak, she is docile, she prays to God, playful of the time, and pious. She stands in a corner, she remains silent, she is portrayed as the innocent queen to Kaikeyi's cunningness. And once in a while she comes, she raises her hand in benediction, and she goes away too. But most importantly, she has only been depicted as a mother of God. I'm not saying that a mother does not merit enough character, but they have not given her a character of what she felt, how she felt, who she truly was. She has been depicted as a mother and a mother only, with no voice no control over what was going on in her life. But my Kausalya is very, very different. She is fierce and determined and accomplished. She is a queen, but she is not aloof like most main characters in speculative mythological books are. She is very human. She is warm and lovable. She is unapologetically successful, and she's just more than how most people have portrayed her to be. Why Kausalya? What can we learn from her? Who was she? Can we learn anything from her right now? Is she even relevant to our time? Can we learn anything from her story? These are the questions that I want to answer right now. Why Kausalya? Why I chose to write about her? I think I've already explained. It's the fact that she has been given no voice at all. She has been depicted as a voiceless queen, someone without any power or any respect given. And I thought that maybe she deserves something else, because if you check every version of the Ramayana, there is a single line about her. In Valmiki's Ramayana, she has been depicted as Kosalayan Tulkita, which translated from Sanskrit means the daughter of Kosala, her father's kingdom. Every single Ramayana has like one line, two lines about Kausalya, and putting them all together gives us a very concrete story, a very different perspective as to what could have truly happened. So I have reimagined Kausalya, and I feel that it is very important to do the same, not only to certain characters like her, but to also apply this in concepts such as reimagining our past. But why? Why do we need to reimagine what may have happened, what could have been? So let's just put a pause over there and think how information passed over the years. Mostly, it passed through Kannada information, the oral tradition, which most often kind of became like a Chinese discourse. What happened, say, 1,000 years ago, is not what we hear about it. We hear a very different, exaggerated version. So, if we think about it like that, centuries ago, the people then, how would they have thought of us here in the 21st century? Would they have found us absurd, or would they have found us somewhere like a different species itself? The past may think of us like that, but what will the future people think? Will they think of us as archaic, our culture and our traditions, or would they think of us as modern, finding explanations to why we do things and how we do it and what we do it for? So, of course, nowadays in the 2000s, people have started actively recording information and preserving it for posterity. But if by any chance a lot of it is destroyed, would our lives be dramatized and narrated 1,000 years from now? Will it be the way it is right now? Will it be talked about as we truly are right now? Or would they think and treat us as, well, very differently, like we were literally a different species? So, coming back to how information passed through the generations, it was through the Karma Parampara, as I said. Before actually being written down or engraved in stone, it was first talked about. And even if it was written down in whatever palm leaves, not many people were educated enough to believe them. So information mostly passed through word of mouth, from generation to generation, from storyteller to storyteller, from bars on the street or town criers. And each time these people say or narrate an incident, well, they're all storytellers in their own right. So they exaggerate a bit, they dramatize a bit, they kind of remove some parts they don't like, they add some more flair to certain parts. So after so many years and years of that, we really don't know what truly happened. And to know that we have to slowly push past all of those many layers of stories to find what really happened. So whether characters in real, the Ramayana, what happened? Okay, a war may have happened, but whether characters here, did they actually do this and that? Was there truly a Swayamvara for Rama and Sita? Was the war actually didn't truly happen to the scale to which it's been depicted. And then now I'm going to conspiracy theorists right now, but say 6,000 years from now, is that how our fate is going to be true? So say the COVID-19 pandemic, is that going to be exaggerated even more than it is right now? Will our stories be told that way too? It's actually a very interesting thing to ponder upon. So, like this, a lot has been lost through the years. Even like, say, let's take music, or dance, or literature. 100 years ago, the purity with which it was performed is very different from how it's being performed now. The format, the environment, the aesthetics, everything has changed very much. And of course, progress is also there. It might be because of societal changes, but the true pure art form has been lost too. And while there are a whole set of people working to discover our past, to rediscover our roots, a major chunk of what was lost is because of the fact that history is written by victors. Because it's all from one person's point of view. History is not written taking into account party A and party B. It's only taken into account by the person who won. And then we have to add the fact that history, the name itself suggests that it's his story, not her story. It is history. So most of the characters who we've lost over the years are probably female. So I come back to what I said in the start. If a woman, if any woman has been talked about or respected right now, if there are statues built for a woman, we have to remember how much she had to go through to be remembered right now. So Kausalya is one such person who I believe was lost in the flow of time through history because she was not a victor, but she wasn't a victim either. Her story was just blurred out of existence because she didn't wage a war against any king and win. So traces of Kausalya, as I said, can be found in every Ramayana. Not just Kausalya, but any incident which we have very vague details about can be cohesively put together if only we truly try to find it. If we find the pieces of the and put it together, that's when we get as to what happened, what could happen, what may have happened, what could have happened. So if we discover this, if we actually figure this out, a lot of what may have happened, many questions that we have even now, those certain abnormalities in science and technology that we don't understand right now, may be answered. All those could be answered possibly. Now, apart from this, what else could we have lost over the years? We may have lost a bit of technology and science, we may have lost culture, we may have lost records of people who did a lot to change our society, and we may have lost a lot of societal laws and customs. Some of them good, some of them very bad. So if we had all the information as to what happened millennia ago, where would we be right now? Would we still have the same sort of disadvantages and discomfort that we have right now? So certain practices we follow even today, would we be following them, or would we know why that practice actually started? So for example, like something that's commonly done in Indian households. Now of course, I mean it's a very simple one, we know the reason. We don't wear our slippers inside. We wash our feet and our hand outside the house before entering. So those reasons, I mean, we know why we do that. It's for hygiene purposes, or that not bring external dust and pathogens inside the house. But there are many other such superstitions too. And actually, realizing that could help us very much. Because a lot of those are sort of, clouded with a lot of extra superstitions that rather vaguely worded wants and riddles on top of it. But if we truly know what may have happened, a lot of our problems would be fixed. So with that knowledge, could we have prevented any major calamity that may have struck us? Would it have had the same effect? Or would we have a cure or a panacea in our hands all this long, but we don't know about it simply because we haven't found it from the force of time. So by 2047, most of the lost data from the past might have been sequenced, and we might actually have all the information on what truly happened. Because right now, a lot of historians, a lot of archaeologists, a lot of people are working together to do this. And I feel that collaborative effort between people from different fields can actually increase the speed with which this progress can happen. By 2047, most probably all the unanswered questions we have would have been answered. All the stories that we have, maybe even the Ramayana or Mahabharata, while the information is rather cryptic and a bit vague, and even now there's a raging debate going on, but maybe in by 2047, we might know what actually happened, whether these epics happened or not. If they happened, if the characters were real or not, whether they actually existed, everything can be figured out if we know what happened. So I think it's rather safe to assume that we have learned the importance of learning more about our past and the importance of reimagining our past and to also rediscover our roots. So that brings me to the end of my presentation. And I would like to thank Mrs. Sankara for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Sankara School has a it holds a very special place in my heart because I have come there multiple times for MUMs and cultures, and I have spent a lot of time in this very same auditorium.
Thank you. We don't have time for questions.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Well done.
Thank you.
Recording stopped.
Now let's gear up for the next session, the highly anticipated debate. Get ready for the stimulating exchange of ideas and perspectives. Now I invite Sukumar sir to the debate session.
Seating is a stand, the debater. The debaters, Gokul, you want to come? Gokul and Hari. Okay, so you want to start first? Oh yeah. Okay, do anybody know what is the topic of the debate? So do we improvise and build from the West, or we go back to our roots and figure out our own strategy? Using our own ingenuity. We heard a lot today about our roots and how fantastic things were. So we have two bright teams who are going to argue that case. One team led by Gokul. You want to say hello, Gokul? And another team led by Hari. Both are distinguished alumni. We have a team of teachers and students. So we'll start with Gokul's team first. Why don't the first speaker come in and start while we assemble the chairs? Ovia, where are you? You can start. She is from Hari's team.
Okay, hi everyone, I'm Ovia and I am for the topic of Western influence in our Indian culture. So, first of all, how many of us use the internet every day? Yeah, that's the vast majority, right? So, I'm pretty sure. So this internet, it was started in the West, and it has now become the backbone of any modern society, Indian or not. But this influence of the West, even based in internet, it goes far beyond just having access to Wikipedia or binge watching YouTube tutorials. It's about how these technologies have decentralized knowledge. It's made high quality education accessible to just about everyone, regardless of where they live or how much money they make. Take Byju's for example. It's taken Western knowledge and brought it to India, and not just replicating traditional classroom techniques, but also improving it with adaptive learning, for example, which adjust content based on each student's pace. It's basically like having a teacher who actually realizes when you're zoning out and adapts accordingly. The Creating MOOCs, which is massive open online courses, was also introduced in the West, even though it's been received with massive excitement in India. Platforms like Coursera or EDX have democratized higher education, where students from small towns even can learn courses from IIT or Harvard or MIT. And it not only expands access, but equalizes opportunities and levels the playing field among everyone, and ensures that a student always gets a chance to learn from the best. And then there's the whole interdisciplinary ideas, which, let's be honest, probably shocked a lot of the older generation. The idea that a student of engineering can take up courses in economics, or a computer science student can study psychology, makes you realize that this generation aren't just specialists, but holistic thinkers. And Western education doesn't just stop there. It introduced us to the liberal arts, focusing on developing a very broad intellectual base, rather than just cranking out professionals like a factory assembly line. Even the whole language of English, when you think about it, the language that I'm communicating with you right now, it was brought to India. Yeah, through British colonialism, yes, but it has evolved far from this language of colonizers to a powerful tool that has empowered us on a global stage. By embracing English, we have access to the world's knowledge and to the world's opportunities, and it enables us to learn from the best and collaborate globally. It's connected us to latest research and technological advancements. It's allowed us to compete on a global scale. It's not just a language, it's the bridge that has enabled us to rise as a global powerhouse. I'm going to conclude with a very simple example. Dinosaurs. These creatures once ruled the earth, but when the environment around them changed, they couldn't adapt, and eventually they went extinct. This is what happens when you don't evolve with the times. If we refuse to adapt, to embrace new ideas and innovations, we risk being left behind in a very rapidly advancing world. Thank you.
What does progress mean? Good evening to everyone present here. My name is Sasmita and we are discussing the question, is India progressing due to the adoption of various Western models, or can we be self-reliant without their help? And I say yes to the latter. Let me tell you why. Western capitalism stormed into India like a new Instagram trend we had to follow, promising quick fixes and economic heights. But let's face it, it's often left us with widening inequality, environmental damage, and communities feeling left out. It's like buying a fancy outfit that looks great on a mannequin but doesn't quite fit when you try it on. So, instead of forcing ourselves into someone else's model, let's look at how we're innovating on our own. Look at initiatives like UPI and Digital India. These aren't just tweaks on Western concepts. They're entirely new approaches that meet our needs better than any imported model could. Small businesses in remote villages and individuals with limited access to traditional banking can now participate in the financial system. This isn't just about convenience. It's about lifting people out of financial isolation and integrating them into the broader economy. As of 2023, there are over 70 million small businesses in India that have increasingly adopted digital payments facilitated by UPI. But let's not stop at economics. Another area where Western models have had a huge impact is education. And honestly, it's time to rethink how we approach it. I'm sure all of us have heard of a very talented cousin who's good at studies, gets medals at sports, also created a Guinness record when he was 5 years old. Oh, right, he's also won an Olympic medal, right? Yeah. And then we inevitably end up in a family debate about how we should all be like them, leading to what feels like World War III at the dinner table. This relentless pursuit of the perfect student is exactly where Western models have let us down. Instead of embracing the diverse strengths and interests of each individual, we end up with a one-size-fits-all approach that pressures everyone to fit a narrow mold instead of celebrating what makes each student unique. Western-inspired education often forces everyone to chase the same checklist of achievements. We are told that being good at everything is the goal, but this ideal student model doesn't account for the fact that not everyone thrives under the same conditions or in the same subjects. And you want to know how we contrasted it with the ancient Gurukul system, focused on tailored learning that nurtured each student's individual strengths and happiness, made by our very own India. The happiness curriculum in Delhi, which emphasized emotional intelligence and well-being over rote memorization. Imagine if we expanded this approach across the country. If we designed an education system that didn't just reward the perfect cousin, but recognized and nurtured every student's unique abilities. Even today, India's innovative education models like the Navodaya Vidyalayas are proving this approach works. These schools, which blend local wisdom with modern techniques, are delivering impressive results. They're not just keeping up with their urban counterparts, they're often outshining them in both academic performance and overall student development. It's a clear indication to how a tailored approach can truly make a difference. But let's go back to economics for a bit. The GDP is something that all of us have been fixated on for so long. But here's the kicker. While we're busy obsessing over GDP growth, we often overlook the fact that it doesn't tell the whole story about our well-being or progress. There is so much more going on inside Western economic models that we just fail to realize that there are so many communities being left out, social inequality, wealth disparity, and so on. In fact, Western models have taught us to equate high GDP with success, but we are missing out on so many other things. Enter the Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. It took a more practical approach, and instead of borrowing complex Western ideas that didn't quite fit our needs, we created a program that focused on what actually works here, building all-weather roads with local materials and involving the community in the process. By 2024, this program has laid down over 7 lakh kilometers of roads, transforming countless rural areas from dry to caution zones into smooth sailing routes. While Western models might bring out the whole flashiness of this program shows that when it comes to tackling our own unique challenges, sometimes our do-it-yourself solutions might work a lot better. Now, to conclude, as we are standing on the brink of 2047, which is, as you know, 100 years of independence, we are faced with a choice. For too long, we have measured our success by how will we fit into Western molds. But now is the time to carve our own path. Picture a future where our progress is not about conforming to others, but about showcasing the brilliance that is uniquely Indian. Our goal for 2047 is not just about economic growth, but a vibrant, self-reliant India that stands as a beacon of progress on the global stage. We have the rich heritage, the indomitable spirit, and the collective strength to forge a path that is our own. Our history is vibrant, our culture is rich, and our resilience is such that we are capable of overcoming any challenge with a flourish. Our forebears dreamed heartbeat of a nation that would rise to its full potential. And now it's our turn to honor that vision. And here's the exciting part. We, the younger generation, are already driving change. Every new idea, every bold initiative, and every moment we challenge the status quo is a step toward a future we shape ourselves. Together, we are not just witnessing change, we're making it happen. Together, we can turn our extraordinary potential into reality and make the next century truly remarkable. So, how about we start making our own headlines rather than reading someone else's?
That was a fairy speech. Wow. Thank you. But I request the next speakers to keep your commentary short so we can do some questions. Thank you. Now is the teacher's turn.
Shashmita put up so many nice points about and a lot of hope about the coming generation. But you should also understand that at present, this particular beautiful program is being, live casted to my daughter. She's seeing it from some place. So where is it coming from? It's coming from various concepts which we have kind of literally borrowed from the Western to a certain extent. Now let me keep my cards open. India has just not adopted these concepts. It has adapted it, improvised it, and here we are teaching the West a thing or two in a new recipe. I would like to focus on some key areas. To start with, renewable and sustainable energy. We have embraced the global shift with open arms. We know that we are all going through crisis of energy. Taking some points from the researches done in the Western countries, with respect, we have taken it up to a larger scale. The solar energy tapping has moved to a great stride or leap, and we have come up to a level where we are able to give them back what we have taken from them. A classic example is the Badla Solar Park in Rajasthan, spanning over an area of 14,000 acres and giving about 2,245 megawatts of electricity, to be known as one of the world's largest solar park. Aren't we proud of ourselves? Yes, we did take the help of few, but then still we are improvising on it. We are not stagnating on it. This has helped us in reducing the carbon footprint and set an example for large-scale renewable energy sources. The next, I would like to take you back to Netherlands, from where our speaker was there. Netherlands, beautiful, picturesque. What comes to your mind first? The wonderful windmills. Yes, we have learned to tap the wind also as our resources. Dutch initially used it for grinding their grains and pumping the water. And here we are, moving ahead, taking it, making energy. And as we move through some of those wonderful interior parts of Tamil Nadu, we still get to see those beautiful large structures lined up. So our worship of Panchabhuta is being taken for our benefit. So we are taking the sun for solar and the wind, Vayu, for sustainable energy. The next area is the manufacturing industries 4.0, initiated by the German government, is rapidly transforming this sector by embracing the principle to bring in the era of smart factories, automation, AI-driven machines, etc. A shining example is the Bharat Forge in Pune, one of the largest in the world, integrated advanced robotics, AI-driven process in its production line. And the result? Astonishing. Increased efficiency, reduced waste, and a world-class product. What else do you want? At this point, I would like to make a reference about the prestigious ICF factory in Perambur, which was inaugurated by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. And do you know, it all started off with the helping hand of the government of Switzerland. And now we are at a position, we developed, we improvised, we went, we further and we have come to a state where we are exporting carriages to various countries abroad. Isn't it a feather in our cap? So are we stagnating with these concepts? No. Are we a slave to the concepts? No. We are improvising it on. So we are using our own intelligence to it. The next area that I would like to talk is the IT and software.
Ma'am, you have 1 minute. Sorry to call time.
Okay. That's not fair.
It is not. But I have to hold
We
on.
always say a little bit after the bell.
Yeah.
The list of companies is endless, from startups to multinational. At this point, again, I would like to recall the humble start of Infosys in an apartment in Pune. And now they have stomped their way, marking everywhere in close to 46 countries in various aspects like banking, health sector, and proving our ingenuity is supposed to reckon with. Who knew that the solution for all the worldly problems, be it banking or be it your insurance, all is just a call away in Sriseri or Bangalore. We are the brain behind all this. The next is education, moving away from rote memory to the more hands-on or skill-based approach. A page with the West calling as interning. We have enhanced this with the National Skill Development Corporation, partnering with many industries to create skill-based, or rather just equipped education, job-equipped education. Our Gurukul concept making a complete roundabout and coming in a new recipe. Agriculture and food technology, Aditi Devo Bhava. We believed in it and we still believe in it. So next, the food has to be criteria, and the most important, hospitality industries again here are taking up to they're looking up at agriculture. So the drip irrigation, now let me go to that. Again, conservation, drip irrigation was started off by Israel. So what happened? We just developed on it. We just moved ahead. Now we have come up to a state where we have improvised it for us to suit our climate, water requirement, and increase the crop yield and water conservation also. The water management through canals and reservoirs were very well known to us, especially after we spoke about the different dams and rivers and all that in India. But how much was effective? So this has just come again as a blessing. Hey, is the West selling ice to Eskimos? No. So I can list many points, but I need to add on that some of our leaders, pioneers in the industries, have gone abroad to take a small note or something, or rather to say fine-tune their education or their concepts, and they've come back. And I would like to list some of them. Our father of nation, a man whose life was his message. So you all know that he studied abroad. Ratan Tata, Indra Nui, to list a few. Our own Raghuram Rajan, we had him once as our chief guest also, I hope you remember. Dr. Bhima Rao, Ramji Ambedkar, who had given us a constitution. So there's no harm in taking a concept, be it West or East, take it, improvise it, and show the world that you can lead to a greater extent. So I expect my generation, my younger generation, my students sitting in front of me, go ahead, learn, explore, come back, give the country, give your motherland what is best. பழையன கழிதலும் புதியன புகுதலும் என்று போதி பண்டிகை கொண்டாடும் நாட்டை சேர்ந்தவர்கள் நம் புதுமையை எங்கிருந்தாலும் அணைத்துக் கொள்ளுங்கள், நம் நாட்டுக்கு பெருமை சேருங்கள் என்று கூறிக்கொண்டு வணக்கம், நன்றி.
Wow. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. என் என்பர் ஏனைய எழுத்தென்பர் இவ்விரண்டும் கண் என்பர் வாழும் உயிருக்கு. This is taken from Tirukkural, dated between 300 BCE to 5th century CE, meaning numbers and letters are the two eyes of living beings. What do we see here now? Foundational literacy and numeracy of Indian education policy 2020, and many Western education systems are now recognizing the crucial role of language and maths in early education to ensure lifelong learning and success for our children. கற்க கசடர கற்பவை கற்றபின் நிற்க அதற்கு தக. Learn thoroughly what should be learned. Once learned, live by it. Our famous teaching methodologies like phenomenon-based learning, experiential learning show similarities with our own Gurukulam system on the following aspects: holistic development, student-centered learning, real-world application, and skill development. The food chain analogy. Let's understand the intricate balance of nature using a unique analogy of food chain involving the family of Lord Shiva. Lord Vinayaka's mouse represents herbivores. Lord Shiva's snake represents carnivores. Lord Murugan's peacock represents top carnivores. Surrogacy and the birth of Lord Balarama. What is surrogacy? Surrogacy is an arrangement where a person carries and gives birth to a baby for another person. Lord Balarama is the seventh son of Vasudeva and the elder brother of Lord Krishna. The events of his birth is narrated by Bhagavan himself in chapter 10 of Srimad Mahabhagavata Purana, dated 1500 BCE as follows. The whole of Shesha, which is my abode, will become an embryo in Devaki's womb, which you shall transplant it into Rohini's womb. That is, Balarama's conception and implantation occurred in Devaki's womb, and it was transferred to Rohini's womb, and the completion of pregnancy and delivery was done by Rohini. The concept of even embryo transfer was not even there in modern medical history till 19th century. The first transplantation was taken place in rabbits in 1890, and the first successful birth of a human baby through IVF and embryo transfer took place only in 1978. Importance of learning and documenting ancient texts. In 1995, United States Patent and Trademark Office USPTO granted a patent to the research work on wound healing properties of turmeric done by the University of Mississippi Medical Center. In 1996, the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research Center of India challenged this patent and provided extensive documentation references from ancient texts. The USPTO eventually revoked its patent in 1997, acknowledging that the claims were not new. India has taken proactive measures of developing Traditional Knowledge Digital Library (TKDL) to prevent biopiracy. And this initiative successfully prevented the filing of patent for medicinal properties of ashwagandha by an American company called Natrian Inc. Value systems. Our ancient texts of Avaya's teaching, Tirukural and Puranas are a timeless treasure trove of wisdom on gratitude, kindness, hard work, ethical living, and power of education. Introducing children to these values can help them develop into a well-rounded and morally grounded individuals. Let me quote a few. Theenar suttapun ullarum, arade navinal sutta vadu. Wounds healed caused by fire will heal, but wounds caused by words will not. From Atichuri. Udayadu vilambe, do not boast about your possessions. Ookamadu kaivide, never lose hope. Ayyamittu un, share what you eat. Yoga. Regular practice of yoga and meditation in schools improve students' physical fitness. These practices can manage stress, anxiety, depression, leading to better academic performance and overall well-being. Some yogas for this purpose: Balasana, Savasana, Setu Bandhasana, Uttanasana, and help in relaxing mind. COVID and Indian spices. Our food habits, consisting of regular usage of turmeric, pepper, amla, and traditional medicines like Nilavendu Kashaya, helped us to develop immunity to fight the COVID pandemic. Finally, the irony. America was discovered when Christopher Columbus was attempting to find a westward route to India. Bartholomew Dias navigated around the southern tip of Africa, that is the Cape of Good Hope, demonstrating the possibility of reaching Indian Ocean by sea. Vasco da Gama discovered the sea route to India and he reached shores of Calicut, India. Pedro Alvarez Cabral, while en route to India, accidentally discovered Brazil. Western explorers were driven by the desire to reach India, a land of immense cultural and economic wealth. Yet today, we find ourselves increasingly adopting Western lifestyles and values, often at the expense of our own rich heritage. Please, let us remember our Indian roots. Thank you.
Hello, thank you. Hari and Gokul, can you please keep it to a couple of minutes, then we have to wrap up and go to TMK session.
So probably mine will be more of a storytelling session. So this last 1 year I have not taken part in so much in Sankara activities. The reason being I was building my house, and as you know, builders, right? They never give you a house. My house was supposed to be given in 7 months. And it was going in 1 year, and I'm not seeing my house. So I decided, okay, I'm getting into civil engineering. So I started managing the people. I saw over 4 engineers who had come on and off. I was kind of managing them. Their basic responsibilities, which I typically saw, was that they had to supervise people. Came from West Bengal, so they were managing the West Bengal people. And there were also some Tamilians inside. Then they have to follow the rules which the engineer has set in order to build, what to build, when to build. They have to coordinate with this plumbing team, electrician team, as well as the construction team. And finally, they have to give feedback to the builder. They have to keep expenses. So these were the major kind of work all supervisors did. So the connection is the last person who came during the end of the journey was a watchman. His name was Arun. So this Arun has finished only his 8th standard. He doesn't have knowledge, and the builder told me he's a very good watchman, let him come. But there was an incident which happened on security issue, and this guy really brilliantly handled it. There were about 10 rowdies who came into my house. This guy handled it in such a clever way, connecting the police, and that his name did not get tainted. I thought this guy had something additional in him. I thought this guy is not normal. He's something out of the way. So I asked him, see, you have that skill, you have that, you know how to drive people, you know how to do it. Why don't you become a supervisor? Then he told me, how can I become a supervisor? Whenever you are giving to-do items, you give everything in English. I don't understand English. I'm just 8th fail. Then the second thing he told me is, see, how do I tell my expenses back to my boss, okay? And how do I record it? I don't know how to do it. The third part he was saying is, the most of the population who's working here, they are Bengalis or they are Hindi people. I don't know both. I can't handle it. I told him, I will teach you the technique. I will use technology to teach you the technique, and I will enable you. So what I did is, for the English speaking part, I took a screenshot of my screen. I told him, go to Google Lens, open it, see it in Tamil. So now he saw it in Tamil for him first problem solved. Then the second part is, I told him, see, for recording, all you have to do is talk into the system. Okay? Use Google typewriter, talk in Tamil, record it, take a photo of it, send it to your boss. Your job is over. So second part is over. The third part where he said is, how do I convey to Bengalis or to North Indians? That's where I told him, let's use NLP. I said, let's use Google Translate. So using Google Translate, there is a conversation mode in Google Translate which is used. And I told him, you speak in Tamil here. He spoke in Tamil. It automatically translated to Hindi. And I asked him, did you understand what he spoke? He said yes. Then I asked him, you speak. Then I asked Arun, did you understand? I said, that's it. Then what happened is, I trained him in a couple of days. What I'm trying to say is multiple concepts here. See, Arun has no knowledge of English. English is what actually helped India to become a superpower. Now with technology coming in, using large language models, that need to learn English is actually the software, the information system, AI is replacing English very quickly. So you don't need to necessarily know a language to speak to somebody, to convey information to somebody. the technology will do it for you. Do you need to be educated? No, I would rather say right now the way how fast the systems are going right now, I'm working on application systems which will code for you. So over time, in fact, coders may cease to exist. So if any of you are planning to code, I will tell you go into robotics. Coding is not for you because soon over the next 3 or maybe by 2047 coding will be eliminated. Systems will automatically code. AI, I type out a few words in AI, it will code. In fact, I would like to point a recent example. In our Sankara School Academy, whatever we are doing out here, there was lots of information which was being collected. So what happened is the information was collected in WhatsApp. We wanted information about who has done what and who has not done it. And this kind of information I have done it in my official capacity. I used about 4 people across a period of 1 month. It took me about 800 hours of work. But using GenAI, that is Azure ChatGPT, it took me exactly 5 minutes and 4 prompts. That's it. So think about the way the technology is moving right now. At artificial intelligence, it's moving at a very fast pace. The thing is, what I'm trying to say is you have to think about your logical skills. How do you kind of route your program? How do you ensure your program does what you want it to do? It's more of analytical thinking which will win you battles and not just a routine kind of programs. So what I'm trying to convey is it's English speaking, language, or you take any other kind of even programming kind of skills. Everything is like, we have taken it from Western, but what Indians have done, we have put our own jugaad into it. And our intelligence is what actually driving it to the next levels. So we do use it. Western technology, it's helped us a lot of, it's done a lot of good to us, but we can take it to the next level, we can be better than what we are. And if you look at the software revolution, India has led the software revolution. The next Gen AI revolution is also led by us. In fact, my colleague as well as Accenture colleague and right now Padma is leading some of the AI models out there, and it is driving the next step of intelligence. Thank you, everyone.
Good evening. Before I go on to my part of the speech, I would like to make 4 counters. நான் ரொம்ப கஷ்டப்படுவேன்னு நினச்சேன் நான் இது ரொம்ப ஈஸியாக கொடுத்து because I thought Western based topics would be the heart of our discussion. Ma'am, banking was earliest started by Natukote Chettiars, even eons before the banking system ever originated in the West. So we are there. The entire improvisation from the West is due to our roots, that has helped our people to keep our mind open. So even though there is the West, but it is our core values which has helped us to do what we are today. And in case of Arun, again, he may have learned some new tools, but the upbringing of his the environment, the way in which the Indianized roots has really made him the person to come forward and to take the risk. In fact, worldwide, Indians are the most risk-taking people. Like for example, if you talk about Kirana stores, India has the maximum number of Kirana stores in the world. So maybe Arun would have been part of that system. Okay. Namaskarams. I bow to the divine in you. Let me introduce myself. The rest of the world calls me by the name India, but to those who know me well and who love me, I'm known as Bharat, and I'm basically a land of timeless wisdom and indomitable spirit. I'm sum total of all the knowledge, both known. Can you please be seated, please, guys? I'm the sum total of all the knowledge, both known and unknown to the mankind. And every time somebody wanted to explore, I have always had a solution which will fix problem for the humanity. The sound is the mother of all language, and phonetics is born out of me. The mantras, which is basically the Vedas and Upanishads, has fine-tuned and relied on sounds to energize the cells in the bodies of not just the chanter, but also the listeners. For example, in Sri Ruddam, there is a part called Chamakam, wherein it talks exhaustively about the square roots up to 48. So basically, my teaching has been through scientific methods using Vedic hymns, and that has been percolated word of mouth for thousands of years. I am Bharat, and in fact, I have my own GPS. Like we have listened to Mr. Praveen Fakala's presentation. Like we have something called as a Sankalpam, which is basically defining precisely before anybody does any act, to define where you exactly are. Like for example, we say Jambudvipe, Bharatavarshe, Bharatkhande, Meroho, Dakshine Pasne, Sarapte. It talks about the entire location specific to where you are going to do that activity and invokes the day, the month, one of the 27 nakshatras of the day. So I'm actually so very sophisticated and not very ancient as you think. 5,000 years ago, when my friends in the lands from the other worlds used to try to walk, I already produced scholars who were involved in constructing very complex structures, and that has witnessed the test of time. I'm Bharat. My advancements in metallurgy, astronomy, architecture, from the pine pillars of Delhi to the temples of the southern India to the cosmic observatories in Ujjain, has actually pushed the boundaries of human capability. Dashavataram of Vishnu, from Matsyavataram to Kaliki Avataram, precedes Darwin's evolution of species. Let me now name a few of the scholars who were experts in various fields for more than 4,000 years ago. Vashishta, philosophy; Vishwakarma, architecture; Vyasa, literature; Manu, law; Bharadvaja, aviation science; Khanara, atomic theory; Shushruta, surgery; Agastya, electricity; Chanakya, economics; Pingala, binary numbers; Patanjali, anatomy; Parashurama, warfare and weaponry; Dhanvantri, medicine; Bhaskara, mathematics; Brahmagupta, gravity; Aryabhatta, astronomy; Shankara, Advaita Vedanta. And you consider the knowledge from the West to be superior. While the teaching methods from the West and the Middle East is mainly to impose thoughts and forces people to accept and go by whatever they say, my emphasis on questioning, debate, and dialogue as a way to impart knowledge created an atmosphere of intellectual vibrancy unmatched by others. You look at my roots. Over the last 1,200 years, there were small viruses which thought they destroyed my heritage and culture. Unknown to those viruses, my immunity has been quite strong, and despite their tantrums, I continue to hold my legacy. The West has given only confusion to the world, right from the destructive bombs to the broken families, and running their business-like lives in a very unstructured manner. Their lives are generally revolved around atharma. The rest of the world has taken everything from me and rebranded ideas that are mine. My citizens of today are enamored by the West and are taking the copycats West to be the original, which is I. To conclude, even to identify which cafe to go to, you discuss with your friends and you do a lot of research. I am Bharat. Every moment of your life, you live off me, you use my natural resources, and you are in my land. So you owe it to yourself and to me to know me better, so that together we will progress in our growth and development and reclaim my glorious past. I am Bharat, the eternal flame of knowledge and wisdom, and I illuminate your path for our future. I may appear old and ancient, but I am never obsolete. Thank you.
That was brilliant, Gokul. So we are running over time. So I am supposed to be the moderator and make the final comments. I wish we had more time for questions, but I think we are going to wrap so we can go to T&K session and finish the overall program somewhat on time. Okay, everybody? So what do you all think? Do we go to the roots or copy the West? Exactly. I mean, I think we have heard over and over today, and I think Param had this slide, beautiful slide. I don't know if you all noticed. India had 50% of the GDP not too long ago. So we had the leadership of the world in every sphere. I think that has been covered. Today, even some spheres of life, many people across the world don't even know, such as the Upanishads and the philosophies that we created. So I think it's clearly pointing to 2047 will be India will be the leader of this 2047 in its own way. With that, I pass the baton back to Saha, wherever she is, the MC, to go to the next session. Thank you very much. Please give a round of applause.
I now request our Principal Ma'am, Mrs. Vidya Lakshmi, to present the memento for our teachers.
I'm here. Now
we have the most awaited interesting session, the T20 with Mr. T.M. Karthik. Mr. T.M. Karthik is a distinguished former software professional with a background at renowned firms such as Cognizant and HCL, has transitioned into a dynamic career as a theatre and film actor. His extensive experience in the corporate world has been complemented by his current role as a theatre-based corporate trainer. Beyond his professional pursuits, Mr. T.M. Karthik is profoundly dedicated to social causes. He actively contributes to the advancement of girl-child education. Additionally, he plays a crucial role in village rehabilitation efforts. Mr. T.M. Karthik's multi-phase career reflects a deep commitment to both artistic expression and social impact, merging his skills and passions to make a meaningful difference in various spheres of life. I welcome you, sir.
Up, everybody, up, up, up. Get up.
Karthik, before you, okay, he made you all stand, so probably this deserves a standing ovation. So, for those of you that don't know, Karthik has spoken at every SSLS. Now I think this is the 12th time he is addressing the SSLS. So please give him a bigger round of applause. In every SSLS, this session has been the most anticipated, and even though whatever time limits we put, it never works. He keeps on going and people never leave. Now, as the alumni, the whole alumni team is here, with the principal man's support, we decided to recognize T.M. Karthik as the honorary alumni of Sankara School. So I request principal man to give the award. So I think it says that Sri Sankara Senior Secondary School Adyar, on recommendations of the Sankara alumni, confers upon Sri T.M. Karthik the honorary alumnus award for his outstanding contribution to Sankara alumni activities that enrich student learning. So we have a question answer kind of session right now. The Tarumar T20 with Tarumar Karthik.
Before we start, what are we going to do? அதுக்கு முன்னாடிப்பா டாஸ் பண்ணுங்க. Rediscovering roots னு சொல்றீங்கல்ல, கிரிக்கெட்டோட ரூட்ஸே டாஸ் தான்ப்பா, அதை விட்டுட்டீங்களா? So, Sukumar, before we go to Sukumar, thanks, very, very emotional. என் ஸ்கூல் எனக்கு இதெல்லாம் கொடுத்தது கிடையாது, இந்த ஸ்கூல் கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. So I am going to tell my school, it's just one request for the management. My first time I spoke here was 2011. Technically, if that was LKG, now I am in the 12th standard. So next year I want the principal to give me the school leaving certificate. Okay. Before we start anything new, we've been talking so much about India, roots, Veda, Shastra, Purana, Indonesia, Myanmar, Goa. எல்லாம் பேசியாச்சு. So before we start anything new in life, we always start with a prayer. சாமிட்டா ரொம்ப லெவலா போறீங்கப்பா. சரி, prayer. So we going to do the prayer. The teachers would have done the prayer before because அவங்க லைஃப் பூரா அறிய செய்துட்டு இருக்காங்க. ஆனா நீங்க அப்படி கிடையாது, நீங்க சில பேர் பண்ற மாட்டீங்க. ஸோ உங்களுக்காக இந்த பிரேயர்ஸ். சனிக்கிழமை நல்ல நேரம், அது பாரத வருஷ ஜம்பு துவீபே கரெக்டா? Okay. So, prayer. What's this prayer? It's a very emotional, soft, silent, introspective prayer. ஒரே ஒரு டெமோ காட்டுறேன். அப்போ பேசினார்ல குவிஸ் மாஸ்டர் சூசைட் பாம்பர் பற்றி, அந்த மாதிரி இது ஒரு டெமோ தான், சூசைட் பாம்பர் மாதிரி. ஓகே, பார்த்துங்க. Then you're going to repeat it, okay? The soft prayer. Be quiet, otherwise you won't be able to hear the prayer. Watch carefully. Ready? I'll do it and then you can repeat, okay? Do you want to do it one by one or as a group? What a lovely bunch here. Listen, I like the way they said group. Would you like to do one by one as a group? You know what everybody said? Group. Don't let me know. You know, Patro, I'm not going to let you know. Group. Okay, I did not do. Okay, start jumping now. Some recommendations for the school before we start the session, Sukumar. See, the whole topic is about rediscovering roots, right? When we were students, how many of you here are on multiple WhatsApp groups in school? You know, the country of Australia has come up with a rule recently. Did you read about it? Yes. So they've said that, what's the rule?
Cricket to be made compulsory.
Cricket to be made compulsory. That's what முக்கியமா சொல்றேன். Cricket உண்டுங்கப்பா, பிரச்சனையே அங்கதான். They've said that all employees have a new rule, new enablement called right to disconnect, which means once they leave office, their bosses cannot contact them. They have the right to cut the call of the boss. It is an official law in Parliament today in Australia. Right? So people have to maintain the work-life balance. Right? I was just imagining, I wish life was like that. So for students, if that rule was there, in my time, the only reason teachers will call will be the morning saying, "Mother, pay the school leave." Paravana pasanga. Vanditaangala ayyo pavana nena. Adu pari vera edhum call panna maatanga. Adhigam meeri call pannanga risk. Adhu dhaan call pannuvaanga. So we should go back to the situation where no WhatsApp group, no nothing. School முடிஞ்சதா வீட்டுக்கு போ. Exam எழுதுறதுக்கு அப்புறம் marks ஓடது கூட phone பண்ணாதீங்க please. Anyway, moving forward. So how are we going to do it? Question. So, is there another mic? Maybe you can use this. One of you can come here. See, what I was told that we're going to have a lot of questions will be asked. I have not given them any guarantee that I will give them answers. Let's see what happens.
Hello, is this on?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's on. It's on.
So, we have collected some 30 questions. 61 questions from all of you.
School in the காமிச்சிட்டாங்கல்ல சிலபஸ் ஒன்று சொல்லிட்டு சிலபஸ் ஒரு செகண்ட்ல மாத்திட்டாங்கம்மா. அந்த போர்ஷன்ல வராதுன்னு சொன்னீங்க மேடம், அதுக்குள்ளே 5 சாப்டர் போட்டுட்டீங்க. ஓகே கேளுங்க.
And guess who asked the maximum number of questions? Teachers.
கடைசி வரைக்கும் விட மாட்டாங்கப்பா. அப்பவே சொல்லிட்டேன் எனக்கு அந்த கொஸ்டினுக்குலாம் ஆன்சர் தெரியல, நீங்க மறுபடியும் கேட்குறீங்க. கேளுங்க.
So, one interesting question from a teacher.
Yes, sir.
And in the interest of time, I can't ask everything, but this I found very interesting. TMK, if you had to act in a biopic, which character do you think would most suit you?
I don't understand the question.
If you had to act in a biopic,
what should I play?
Which character's biopic would you do?
Helping girl children study. That's what I would do, but having said that, if it is a comedy movie, I will play a ghost. That way, I can do what I want, wherever I want, without getting spotted.
But I think the biopic is which famous character you want to play.
Oh, if I want to act in the biopic of a famous character.
Which famous character would you play? I believe that is the question.
I'll play Shubala man. He has been my principal longer than my Vidyamananda principal.
Okay, good one. Now the next one from alumni. Sorgame enralum namba oor poraguma. Have you ever felt like that? You have been all over the world doing various things.
Sorgame enrala Alvarpet pola varuma is what I said. I'll just add one point here. One of the IT companies, by the way, Sukumar was my boss, Pava. One of the IT companies, the question was, so Karthik, you've done well. If you would like to relocate, where would you like to relocate? I said, maybe Adyar, Besanagar. Their question was, India, the US, Canada. Hey, Mamma, in the Sutti Vatarata, there is never India, Varamata, South Madras.
Okay, somewhat serious question.
Yeah. I'll give you a serious answer also.
This is also from the alumni. How can we step up as a society of 1.4 billion people to create products and solutions for our people?
It's a great question, and it's something which I've been dealing with, especially when calamity strike Chennai. One thing about Chennai is when calamity strikes, when there are floods, when there is COVID, Chennai comes together like no other city can come together, right? Whatever differences, political differences, community differences. So what we should do is, half the time we think, if only we can do all these things, if all of us can do one thing for one person right next to us, as a society will step up. Which means, simple thing, if you go in your car or bike, let us say you carry biscuits with you. On the road you see dogs. Put some biscuits. That's your way of connecting society. That's all you need to do. If somebody doesn't have power in the next house and somebody is studying, ask the child to come to your house and study for 1 hour. That's all you need to do. Each of us can do one to one other person. 1.4 billion will be connected in 10 seconds without chat GPT also.
Very nice. So you talk a lot about your struggles. I know TMK has gone through a lot of struggle and hard work to where he has gotten. Someone has asked, give us an example, or how do you think about this struggle and hard work? What is the difference and how do you think about it?
From a student perspective, I'll give you an example which will be more relevant because others are struggles which I don't want you to know now. You'll probably know about it later. One of the struggles is something we spoke about, English, right? Today I am an English theatre actor. Sorana.
He does quite well.
Few years ago, quite a few years ago, 30 plus years ago, a gentleman came, I had gone for an audition for a play, okay? And that time my English was, Chennai English pa, அப்படிதான் இருக்கும் புரியலன்னா அவன் தப்பு ஏன் தப்பு கிடையாது. So, because anyway, எங்கள் ஸ்கூலில் அவங்களாம் இங்கிலீஷ் பேச மாட்டாங்களா, இப்போ அவன் ஆச்சு பேர் புரிய மாட்டேங்குது. Anyway, the guy openly said, why are you coming here? Audition. இதெல்லாம் இங்கிலீஷ் பேசுகிறவங்களுக்கு தான் இந்த ஆடிஷன், அவனுக்கு தான் இங்கிலீஷ் பேசுகிறாங்க. அப்படியே அவங்க ஃபேஸ் he told me this, okay? About, I went back. What did I do? I mean, it hit me hard because we're talking about 30 plus years ago, right? It's not what he said, it's the way he said. I think we get hurt not because of what people say, it's because the way it's said. English கொஞ்சம் கத்துக்கிட்டு வாப்பா அப்படின்னா வேற விஷயம், உனக்கு தான் இங்கிலீஷ் வராது. It hits you, right? How you say it, that's very important for people. Right now we must start how we are talking, right? ஸ்கேலால டீச்சர் அடிக்கிறது தப்பு கிடையாது, அவங்க எதுக்கு அடிக்கிறாங்கன்றதா விஷயம். அவங்களுக்கு வீட்டில் ஏதாவது பிரச்சனை வச்சு உங்களை அடிச்சாங்கன்னா அதுக்கு பிரச்சனை. So I was very upset that நான் இப்படி சொல்றாரு, இப்படி யாருமே சொன்னது இல்லை. Cutting a long story short, I learned English. How did I learn English? We're talking about internet was not there those days, right? Television and a lot of BBC. So probably I should take the Western world argument in this sense. BBC lana ni satyama English vandirukka. I listen to everything in BBC. Every their வயலும் வாழும், அவங்களோட வயலும் வாழும், அவங்களோட பண்ணை செய்தி அதெல்லாம் பற்றி இந்து பேப்பர் வச்சு அவங்க படிச்சுட்டு இந்திரா காந்தி was assassinated. Oh, sad. So as I used to imitate the acts, I was good at imitating. As I started off my whole thing doing imitating actors and all that. So I started imitating the cricket commentators, the BBC radio 32.1 shortwave. I remember that. I used to listen every time I came back from school. I used to listen for at least 2 hours. And I forced myself to talk to English to everybody, even autogays. So anyway, so that's it. The final thing was 20 years later, he forgot me. He called me and said, can you act in my play? No, the story is not that. The story is this part A. I was, நம்ம மறக்கவே மாட்டோம்ல நம்ம பார்க்கும்போதெல்லாம். அவர் மறந்துட்டாரு. What he asked me to do, the role he asked me to do was, you got to play the role of a guy who can't speak good English. I know it will be tough for you because you speak so well. You got to work on it. Can you do this? To me, that is success. Without me fighting with him and showing him, I did my job of going and doing work, of doing radio, TV. TV English na satyama and onnume puriyadhu. English is nalla irukum, but BBC English is what I actually learned English from. It made a huge difference.
Thank you. So what is one thing from our roots or tradition that has helped you in your career?
Absolutely.
Your life?
This is a beautiful question and something which I follow and I believe in it, and it's up to each person's personal belief, right? In Indian culture, which is slowly going away, the respect for your director, for your guru. As an actor, for me, director is guru, mata, pita, guru, Devan is my director, especially on stage, right? What I continue is, whatever happens, we have enough discussions. First thing I do in every place, fall at my director's feet. He or she may be younger than me. Most of the times now they are becoming younger than me. For some reason I am becoming older. Technology. Anyway, I do fall at the feet, they get embarrassed. But for me, it's not a question of humility. For me, it tells me that I am submitting myself to you. That is Indian. that is Bharati or whatever you want to call it. He may not or she may not be better than me. I get into that. I accept that you are my guru. I will go by, I will have discussions. I have questions. Indian culture, another thing which I am very good at is keeping on arguing. Or something which I do. So what I do is at the end, I accept, we have discussions. Finally on stage, I will do exactly what my director wants me to do, whether I accept it or not. I think that comes from my Indian roots, where even today when I see my school teachers on school, if I'm walking, if I'm sitting somewhere, I'll automatically stand up. For me, they are teachers for life. They are not teachers for 14 years. These are all natural, and that I'm very proud, and I continue doing it consciously.
Thank you, TMK. This one is from the teachers. It's okay, so let me rephrase this a little bit. As teachers, educators, will we be able to instill the values of our culture and pass it to the present generation and beyond?
As a teacher?
Teachers, educators, parents, how will we do this?
Okay, I will take the contra view in this question. I think we are over holding on to this Indian culture root to get over put ulla vandadrom nammo ennandal Indian thotalum paravalla headsetalum vara mudiyada edhu sanda podra. So the thing is, how you live is how. I think today's generation, unfortunately, everything is in public. You're on Facebook, Instagram, kilogram, decagram, everything you're there. So today the teacher is more accessible than how the teacher was those days, which also is a risk because that exalted position the teachers had may have come down a little bit because colleagues mari aayiranga. Enna konja nalla peru vechu kudanchiranga. Enakku idle idu pudikada oru vishayam. You call people by name. How can I call somebody my boss by his name? It doesn't feel right. But anyway, the point is, are you a teacher just in school, or are you living a life which is worth emulating? I think if somewhere the teachers can share what they do in personal life, how they overcame challenges, because all these kids will go through the challenges that you are going through. It can't be only about physics and H2O2 and valency and all that stuff. Life has to be bigger than that, right? So can you, in your education, when you talk about people, can you tell them, you know somebody is feeling a little down. Can you narrate a story from your life and how you overcame it? In fact, even say that I tried and I failed. Because vulnerability is the greatest lesson that we should teach our children. They'll be disappointed. If you can share your real self, for that you have to be very conscious about how you live your life. I think the teachers can instill values.
Thank you, Karthik. This is a very interesting question. Is there any actor that you hold as your inspiration? And if so, why?
2 people, 3 people, 4, 5 people, 6 people, 7. Actually, a lot of people. My initial greatest inspiration was Charlie Chaplin. And my desktop, we used to desktop computers those days. Desktop na enna theriyuma? Adha namma thukittu po mudiyadhu. I used to have a Charlie Chaplin wallpaper, which is very sad Charlie Chaplin. But over time, a lot of people, some of you may not have even heard of these actors. Savitri, Nagesh, Shivaji Ganeshan, Manorama Achi, M.R. Radha. These are my idols as actors.
Thank you, TMK. So why did you enter this industry?
Which
you are
industry?
an IT professional. This is a question that has come to
I learned a lot of acting in my office. So I wanted to monetize it. On my terms. Now, why did I enter the industry? So why? Another thing for students, right? We are always told to chase our dreams. Go behind your dreams. Don't let go of our dreams. I think that's the wrong way of looking at life. I think dreams should come and pull you. At one point, you will have no option but to blindly go behind it. Cinema happened, or acting happened for me that way, where I only wanted to do some mimicry. But somewhere somebody said in the play of Arya, or time in the matter. So I went off into it. I think every artist every artist in any form, painting, artist, cooking, gardening, housekeeping, everything is an art, right? Comes from a level of slightly mature line, I'm saying, for kids, level of insecurity. There is something lacking which is not fulfilling us, and that is what is filled by art. So my question is, I didn't go into acting. Acting pulled me, and I'm very happy that I was pulled into it.
I mean, for those of you that don't know, he uses theatre as a way to teach concepts. So,
Yeah, so that's another thing which someday we'll talk about. We'll even do a workshop for these kids someday. We'll do it.
This is another serious and tough question. How do we overcome peer and societal pressure on the performance of the students?
I don't think you should overcome it. I can give you 20 ways of overcoming it. That's impossible. How? First, we என்ன பண்றோம் ஸ்கூல்ல 5 out of 10 நீ 4 தானா கடனா நம்ம 5 10 மாதிரி இருக்குல்ல. I don't think you can overcome peer pressure because we are a society. As long as you're in society, you will be comparing yourselves with all that. What you can do is spend 20% of your time with peer pressure, 80% of your time about your own pressure. So decide. I am going to be upset. Don't restrict it. அவன் அப்படி பண்ணிட்டானு நான் அவனை வெளியே கொண்டு போய் படத்தெல்லாம் கொண்டு போனேன். அப்படி எப்பறம் அவன் படித்தான்? டீச்சர் ஏதோ செட்டப் பண்ணி வச்சிருக்காங்க. அந்த மேட்டர்லாம் சொல்லி முடிச்சுட்டு குழம்பி தள்ளிட்டு go back. I think what should happen is, I mean, jokes about this is a fun way of looking at jokes about this. Don't overcome it. Focus a little more on you, because end of the day we are selfish human beings. Nobody is bothered about you as much as you. So please be more bothered about yourself and less bothered about somebody. That's all.
Yeah, very good answer. How do we as students, I believe this is coming from a student.
Is a student there, then he or she can get up.
How do we manage academics and extracurricular activities?
Fantastic question.
And how did you do it when you were a student?
Okay. They are already managing. See, அந்த பக்கம் ஒரு பாதி கண்ணு, அந்த பக்கம் ஒரு பாதி கண்ணு பண்றாங்க. So the question is, extracurricular activities made me focus on my academics better. How? It even helped at work better. How? The thing is, when you know you got rehearsal in the evening at 7 o'clock, you start pre-calculating. இந்த ஆஃபீஸில் ஐடி ஆஃபீஸில் இப்போ எப்படின்னு தெரியாது. நாங்களாம் இருக்கிற டைமில் பொழுது போனால் டீ குடிச்சு வருவாங்க. இப்போதான் டீ குடிச்சு வருவாங்க. டீ போகலாம் போனேன் போயிட்டு வரத்துக்கு முன்னாடி டீ தானே வந்துடுவேன். So the jokes apart, once you know that something you love doing, which is art, painting, theatre, rehearsal, whatever, at 7 o'clock, that is fixed. No, non-negotiable. It's client given deadline. You can't change it. Now your life starts reverse. That means when do I have to finish this? That means when do I have to do this? That means when do I have to do this? இதே tuition வந்ததுனா ஐயோ அப்படினாயிடும். So that is where extracurricular activities makes you focus on your actual work and lets you declutter. எதெல்லாம் தேவையில்லையோ அதெல்லாம் போய் சும்மா வெளில போறதெல்லாம் கட் பண்றீங்க. தண்டத்துக்கு தூங்குறத கட் பண்றீங்க. So I think you should all have one extracurricular activity, which is the most important thing for you to focus on your curricular activities.
Brilliant. So we are at the end of time. I'm sorry to say.
2 questions from here and then we close. Yeah. Any 2 questions, anything, go for it.
I have one question.
Oh, okay, sir.
Before I pass it to the audience. So you are well known for your humor, right? Please tell us a good joke. That I pass the mic.
TMK. And the good joke. Humor is different, jokes are different. Not sort of them. I think I told this from 15 years back in the other auditorium. ஆமாம் உங்களுக்கு ஏதாவது பிரச்சனையா இந்த ஆடிட்டோரியம்? அதெல்லாம் ஒன்றும் இல்லை. அந்த ஸ்கூல் பாலிடிக்ஸ்லாம் ஒன்றுமே கிடையாது. அதை கொஞ்சம் இன்ட்ரடியூஸ் பண்ணி விடணும். எங்களுக்கு வித்யாமந்தர் பால வித்யாமந்தர் லைஃப் பூரா அந்த பிரச்சனையிலே வாழ்ந்து முடிச்சிட்டாங்க. So I don't know how your system is. For us, அடையார் பக்கம் போகும்போதுலாம் வித்யாமந்தர் அடையாரா மயிலா போகிறோம். அது வித்யாமந்தரே கிடையாது, அவுட் ஹவுஸ் தான். So I'll tell you something which happened to me in the US. வழி கேட்கறது எப்படின்றது, we are talking about Indian and Western, right? Perfect for this example, I think. Indian and Western world, especially American world, they are culturally so different because this is the best example. You ask an American how to go to a place. You know what he'll say? Go down this road 3 blocks on the left and you find a place. நான் அவ்வளோதானா? நான் பட்டுன்னு பதில் சொல்கிறேன். நீ எவ்வளோ பேசுகிறோம், ஃபேமிலி பற்றி பேசணும், வீட்டில் ஏதாவது பிரச்சனை இருக்கா, போட்டாடி பிரச்சனை இருக்கா, எவ்வளோ விஷயங்கள்லாம் திடீர்னு ஆன்சர் சொல்லிட்டு இப்படி பண்ணால் எப்படி நம்மளுக்குள்ள பழக்கப்படா வரும். நான் நீ எவ்வளோ விஷயங்கள் பேச, பாலிடிக்ஸ் பேசணும், 4 பேர் சாவடி எவ்வளோ. Ask the Indian the same question, how to go to the place, especially South Indian. சார், அதாவது பக்கத்தில் என்ன கூட வர சொல்லுவான். சார், அவர் சொன்ன மாதிரி இந்த பரத கண்டேதா ஜிபிஎஸ் இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் வாய்ஸ் மாடுலேஷன் கொடுக்குறோம். அதாவது நேர போனா கொஞ்சம் தூரம் போகணும், நேர போகணும் அவ்வளவுதான் போகணும். நேர போயிட்டு அப்படி வச்சு அப்படி போயிடும். ஸோ ஜாகிரபிக்கல் இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் எப்படி நாலு போகணும், எப்படி எல்லா இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் அந்த மேப் போட்டு கொடுக்குறோம். ஜிபிஎஸ் இல்லாம அதோட விட மாட்டானுங்க. அங்கே போனீங்கன்னா ஒரு ஐசிஐசிஐ பேங்க் பார்ப்பீங்க. பார்த்தா அப்புறம் ஏட்ட மிஸ் பண்ணி திரும்பி வாங்க. அதோட விட மாட்டான். ஒரு 3 மாசத்துக்கு அப்புறம் சீன் சொன்னார், சார் ஹவ் ஆர் யூ போனீங்களா? அந்த வேலை இந்தியன் கல்ச்சர் எண்டு வரைக்கும் நாங்கள் எடுத்து முடிச்சு டர்க்கி ஆப்ரேஷன்ஸ் ஃபுல்லாக முடிச்சு கொடுப்போம். நாங்கள் அவனை பார்த்தீங்களா, அவனே செத்துருப்பான், அவன் எல்லாம். ஆனால் நாங்கள் கேட்டுதான் எங்கேயாவது அதுக்கப்புறம் 5 வருஷம் சார் ஞாபகம் இருக்கா, ஒரு வாட்டி வழி கேட்டீங்களா? The beauty of Indian culture, right? Questions? Yes. Okay, 2 questions. 3 questions. Okay, best of 2. Ball இருக்கா, bat இருக்கா, சும்மா இந்த 3th best question I'm going to hit the ball. I'm going back to my cricket roots. ஒரு காலத்துல நானும் விளையாடுறேன் கிரிக்கெட்லாம். Who's a good cricketer? Who's a good cricketer? Come. Batsman, bowler, fielder, wicketkeeper, commentator, umpire, third umpire. இல்ல ஜெய்ஷாவா? பாலிங் கார்டு அந்த டென்னிஸ் பால் ஏதாவது பால் இருக்கா? போடு, கேட்ச் பிடிக்கணும் பார்க்கலாம். வெரி குட். பால் போல ஐயோ அவுட்பா. இந்த பேட்டிங் செட் ஆகுது, நான் தூக்கி போடுறதுக்கு செட் ஆகுது. வேணாம் சரி வேணாம். Imaginary ball. Okay. I'll tell you whom to hit the ball to. You should hit the ball. அதான் பார்க்கலாம். எந்த சமயம் நீ ரொம்ப வீக். மேக்ஸ் கொஸ்டின் வச்சுக்கோ. என்ன தெரியுமா ஆன்சர் பண்ணிக்கோ. ஸ்மைலி பால் இஸ் குட். ஆனா அவ்வளவு போகும் பார்த்துக்கலாம். ஓகே, அது பால் எல்லாம் கண்டுபிடிக்கலாம். நீங்க விஷயத்துக்கு வாங்கப்பா, கேள்வி கேளுங்க.
How the name Tarmar is?
Lovely, something. இது அவ்வளவு அடிப்பியா? எய்ம் பண்ணி அடி. நான் சொல்றேன் எப்போ அடிக்கணும்னு. லெஃப்டா ரைட்டா நீ? சாப்பிட்டு நம்மள மாதிரி என்ன மட ஆணி. How did the name Tarmar இருக்குமா? என்னது? என் பேர் தார்மார் இல்லை, சுகுமார் வச்ச பேர் அது. This name was Namakaran happened exactly 2 months back. அது டிஎம் இருந்தாலும் அந்த டிஎம்க்கு என்னென்னலாம் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. கடைசியில் அந்த 1, 2, 3 வருத்திப்படுத்தி சொல் அப்படின்றதுல அந்த நாமங்கள் அது ஒரு நாமம் வந்திருக்கு, அவ்வளோதான். பட் எனக்கும் தாறுமாறுக்கும் சம்பந்தமே கிடையாது. சரி, கொஸ்டின் 1 ஓவர். நெக்ஸ்ட் கொஸ்டின். என்னப்பா இந்த பக்கம் யாருமே கேள்வி கேட்க மாட்டேங்கிறாங்க, கேமரா மட்டும் எடுத்துக்கிட்டீங்க. அப்புறம் அந்த பொண்ணு கஷ்டப்பட்டு பேசிட்டு போச்சு, கௌசல்யா விமன்ஸ் எம்பவர்மெண்ட் பேட்ரியார்க்னு சொல்லி நீ கேள்வி கேட்கணும். அப்புறம் எதுக்கு வந்தோமா அவ்வளோ அங்கே பேசிட்டு
Sir, do you feel that educated people follow values and stick to the roots more than uneducated people?
Great question. What depends on what you consider as education. Is it degrees or is it knowledge?
I would say on the basis of the current Indian education system as it is?
I don't think education's, I don't think degrees have anything to do with culture, according to me. I wish degrees integrated with culture. That's what I would say. So there is no general answer to this question. The question is, if you start feeling a little bit for a fellow human being, உங்க கண்ணில் ஒரு சொட்டு கண்ணீர் ஒருத்தனுக்கு ஒன்று ஆச்சு நினைக்கும் போது வந்துச்சுன்னா அங்கேயே உங்க வேலைக்கு வர ஆரம்பிச்சிச்சு. அது வந்து எஜுகேஷனில் வந்தால் எப்படி வருதுன்னு எனக்கு தெரியாது. பட் இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங் கொஸ்டின். But yes, there is the Manipur example is a perfect example of that, right? I don't think any of them are so-called technically educated, right? The Manipur farming tradition. What an example of பைசா வச்சுட்டு போகிறேன், எனக்கு படித்தவன் தான் பைசா எடுப்பான். அது எந்த பைசா எடுப்பான்னா சேஞ்ச் ஆகிட்டு நான் போகிறது யூஸ்ஃபுல்லாக இருக்குன்னு பார்த்துருப்போம். ஏன்னா படித்தவன் நமக்கு தெரியும். Yeah, last question. Hey girls, any questions? No, one question. Okay. Last two questions. One from the girl, one from the guy. This time girls question. Then we close. கேளு. கையை தூக்கிட்டு வேற யாருக்கு ஒரு மைக்கை கொடுக்குறா? வீரமங்கை வேலுநாச்சியார் கேளுங்கள்.
dosa.
இந்த பதில் வச்சு நீ என்ன பண்ண போற? அத நீ சொல்றது நான் பதில் கொடுக்குறேன்.
சாப்பாடுனா பிடிக்கும்.
ஓகே. எனி டே தோசா.
So I have seen the movie Nashekar Returns. How was your experience in this movie?
Brilliant. Okay. Here is another example of working with somebody who is a legend in our state. Vadivelu. I don't want to talk about how good he is an actor, timing, the man, humility of the man, which people talk a lot of wrong things about that gentleman. He has never seen me before, okay? He saw me do some performance, okay? And he tells the director, இவர் என்னெல்லாம் லைன்ஸ் போடுறாரோ அவர் போட சொல்லுங்க, நான் போடுற லைனோட பெட்டரா இருக்கு. This is coming. இல்ல எதுக்கு இதை கூப்பிட்டீங்க? முன்னே உங்களுக்கு ஏதாவது பிரச்சனையா? He coming and telling me that his lines is coming up with are much more interesting than my own lines. Ask him to do the dialogues for that scene. Is Vadivelu telling greatest honor. He is a guy who's been acting before Queen Elizabeth was born. அவருக்கு சொல்றது அங்கேயே ஆடிட்டேன் நான். So it was a great experience and I was very tense. If you are not tense when you are performing anything, it could be an exam. They say relaxed upon. சத்தியமா கிடையாது. ரிலாக்ஸா போயிட்டேன்னா கன்ஃபார்ம் ஃபெயிலியர். லைட்டா அந்த டென்ஷன் இருந்தாதான் அந்த you should want to work. அது நல்லா பண்ணணும்ன்ற பயம் இருக்கும். சில பேர் வெளில வரும்போது பாருங்க எக்ஸாம் முடிச்சுட்டு எப்படி இருந்தது? ஆஸ் யூஷுவல் தான் அப்படின்னா அந்த ஆஸ் யூஷுவல் என்னன்றது அப்புறம் தான் தெரியும். ஓகே, we are done. I think we are already over time. We can go on. My favorite question of this lot was the question about education and culture. I will go for போட்டுட்டான்.
சார் லாஸ்ட்ல வீக் சொல்லி மாஸ்டர் டிகிரி போட்டுட்டான் சார்.
Thank you very much, Sankara. It was an honor. See you next year. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, sir. That was a wonderful session with you. Now I call.
Before I go, sorry. One advice for students, one small advice for students. I saw all of you guys comparing, speaking very nice. I love it. But I'm going to give a small constructive criticism. See whether you can work on it. As much as possible when you're comparing or when you're talking, please do not read from somewhere. Even when the debaters spoke, I enjoyed the people who spoke without referring. It tells me that you know what you're talking about and you love what you're talking about. That is very important in life because tomorrow you're going to sit in an interview. Tomorrow you're going to maybe run a company and talk to clients. You may get married. Imagine you go to your in-laws place. No, once again. Yeah, it's a pleasure to welcome you all to my house. I hope you are occupied on it. So, try to speak on your own as much as it improves your improvisation, it improves your language, it makes you more confident and most importantly, without passion, nothing in life is worth it. And that passion will only come when it comes from inside through your words. So, remember that. It's not a criticism, but try to do not read. The moment you read, it becomes it looks like you're reading பக்கத்துல இருந்து பிட் அடிச்சு எழுதுற மாதிரியா இருக்குது. நம்ம எக்ஸாம் ஆன்சர் மாதிரி இல்லை. பாஸ் ஆயிடலாம் பட் knowledge வராது. Okay, so thank you. I'll see you next year. Thanks for this award. It's very, very special, very, very honored. And next year I will collect the school leaving certificate for sure.
Our principal is Vijayalakshmi ma'am to present the memento to sir. I hope all of you enjoyed this session. Now I call upon Ms. Padma Murali ma'am to give us a vote of thanks.
Good evening all. As we come to the close of SSLS 24, it's with great pleasure that on behalf of the Alumni Committee, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to everyone who played a part in making this event a grand success. So first and foremost, I would like to express our sincere thanks to our school management, principals and vice principals for their unwavering support. Thank you, ma'am. A special thank you to our dedicated teachers and our admin manager, Mr. Mohan. And our sincere thanks to Kavita ma'am for her coordination with Red Chillies for our snacks. Our heartfelt thanks to Shruti, teacher and alumni, for her tremendous coordination between the school and the alumni committee. Our appreciation extends to Mr. Nagraj, Mr. Jose, Mr. Ponni for their expert technical support. We are deeply grateful to all our esteemed speakers, Mr. Praveen Shekhar, Mr. Praveen Sakura, Mr. Balaji, Ms. Vibha and Mr. T.M. Karthik for their insightful presentations and inspiring words. We thank the teachers who participated in the debate, Ms. Sunanda ma'am and Sagarika ma'am, and also the students, Sushmita and Ovia.
May I call upon all the student volunteers, including the volunteers group and the photography period. Please, all of you come over here. Please, all of you. All of you. Yeah, please stand here. Face the audience, please. All of you, please.
A big thanks to all our student volunteers here, Pooja, Sudhakar, Siddhant, Navina, Atulya, for the help in escorting our speakers. The photography and the video team consisting of Satish, Nikita, Vishnu and Srinidhi. The crowd control team, Anadha, Dinesh, Nikhilesh, Niteshri V, Sai Srinidhi, Siddharth and Ravi. Pooja and Raghavan for arrangement of a cricket bat, adding an element of enjoyment to the event. And the technical team, Surya Nidhi, Yamini and Yogita. And finally to our student MC, Sahana, for her wonderful MCA. And finally to our audience, teachers, students and fellow alumni for their enthusiasm and participation. So to everyone mentioned who all have supported, us in various capacities, we extend our deepest gratitude.
Yeah, I think Goshen Raj is also there in that. Yeah. So I think it's beautifully organized, Goshen Raj and all of you. It has been incredible working with all of you, splitting up into teams and really serious about what you want to contribute and how you want to contribute. And you guys have wholeheartedly done a great job because it has made our life very easy in coordination and making this program a success. Thanks a lot, and 3 cheers for the volunteers, please.
Yeah.
Keep here. Keep here. Keep here.
So thank you all. Thanks once again.
Sorry, for the national anthem.
Alone we can do so little. Together we can do so much. Let's make our country proud together. I request you all to raise for the national anthem.
India in 2047.
You can start. Jaya He Bharat Bhagya Vidata Punjab Sindh Gujarat Maratha Dravida Utkala Vanga Vindhya Himachala Yamuna Ganga Uchala Jaladi Taranga Tava Shubha Name Jahe Tava Shubha Ashisha Mahe Gahe Tava Jaya Gata Jana Gana Mangala Dayak Jaya He Bharat Bhagya Vidata Jaya He Jaya He Jaya He Jaya 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 He.
Thank you, everybody.
இது எப்படி ஸ்டாப் பண்றது? நம்ம பண்ணிருதுங்க மைக் ஆஃப்